I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA, 4.5 GPA if you consider the advanced classes that I took. And although I dropped out of college, I've made a pretty good way for myself as an entrepreneur doing this YouTube thing. I've developed the skill of talking to a camera, slicing up the footage, and delivering it in a marketable manner. I'm saying this to say that I don't really consider myself to be a stupid person. In fact, on my best days, I would like to consider myself to be somewhat intelligent and maybe even a bit wise. But smart people make dumb mistakes as well. And right now, I am at this rest stop somewhere between Biloxi, Mississippi and Mobile, Alabama. The sun is getting ready to go down. You probably can't see it, but it's a beautiful area. A little bit hot, a lot of bugs out. But the reason why we are still here and not halfway across Alabama right now is because I made probably one of the dumbest mistakes in my whole entire life, which is actually, by now you might have already seen the video, but literally an hour or so ago, my girlfriend and I filmed a video right over on that bench right there. And afterwards we decided, hey, let's go ahead and walk back to the van and hit the road. Well, somewhere throughout that process, I managed to lock the key, the car key, inside of the car. I suspect that when I opened up the trunk, which doesn't require you to unlock the car, when I opened up the trunk, I must have placed the key down somewhere. And then, and I always talk about this in my videos, but I get distracted by animals really easily. I might have ADHD specifically just for animals. But basically, I saw a squirrel and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to go feed that squirrel. And I walked away, and I think I closed the back as I was walking away. And I must have put the key down whenever I noticed the squirrel, but I just absentmindedly closed the door. And now we are stuck at this rest stop. And to make matters worse, as I've mentioned throughout the past few videos, that is not actually my van. It's not in my name. And furthermore, I'm actually not on my parents' insurance. It's their van and they have it insured, but I'm not on the insurance because, well, I'm only gonna be here for a few months. So what's the point, right? Well, I think I know the point now. The point is, when you're not on the insurance, roadside assistance cannot come and help you. And it would be very sketchy for me to call a locksmith to unlock a car that's not in my name. Now, thankfully, I managed to get in touch with my parents. We have cell phone service, cell reception out here, and they were able to call the insurance company directly and actually request that somebody come help us. But when I tried calling beforehand, they were not trying to help, and rightfully so. And if you wonder why I keep looking over to the side, it's because I'm trying to identify the car that's going to come help us. But listen, we're only about 3 days into this van life journey, and I'm not gonna lie, morale is pretty low at this moment in time. Today went pretty smoothly for the most part. We're well rested for the first time. Over the past couple of days, aside from yesterday, I probably got a combined 5 hours of sleep in total. And I suspect my girlfriend didn't really get much more than I did. But it seems like every single day we've come across some kind of catastrophic, unforeseen circumstance. Yesterday it was the water cooler spilling and inundating the entire backside of the van and us having to go to a laundromat. Today it's this. It's us being stuck here, sitting on this curb at a rest stop in Mississippi. It's humid outside, and at least we got a chance to eat. Yeah. At the very least, that would have been the worst case scenario if we had been stuck outside of this van and we're hungry on top of that. But as much as I would like to just walk around here with my girlfriend, I can't because I have to wait for the people to arrive. They're supposed to arrive in an hour or less, which obviously an hour is a bit of a long time, but it's not that bad, especially considering that we're in the middle of fucking nowhere right now. And we also have access to restrooms. I have my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches right there. She has a vending machine if she needs to get something. But things could be a lot worse. Things could be a lot worse, but they could also be a lot better. We could be probably damn near in Georgia by now. But that's not how life works. Life rarely ever goes according to plan. And as I've said in previous videos, the most important skill to have when you're doing this van life journey, really when you're doing this life journey in general, but especially if you're gonna do this life journey while living in a van, is you have to have the ability to solve problems creatively, or at the very least remain resilient in the face of uncertainty and problems, adversity. And I'm saying all of this right now, but internally, me making this video is the only thing keeping me from crashing out at the moment, because I am very, very salty right now about this. We're both very, very salty about this. But rest assured that moving forward, we are definitely not going to make this mistake again. I'm not going to make this mistake again, because I'm the one who made the mistake. We're also not going to make the cooler mistake again as far as letting the water. I feel like that was actually kind of worse than this.
Yeah,
because that was really, really bad. Because that created a lot of issues. We had to find a laundromat. We also had to find enough ice to put in the cooler before the food spoiled, things of that nature. Speaking of which, we replaced the ice yesterday, and we woke up today and it was literally just water. It wasn't even very cold water at that. So that ice probably melted before we even went to sleep. It's hot as hell out here, okay? It is too damn hot. And that's a big part of the reason why we're so urgent and impatient about getting the fuck out of here. Now, I don't want to disclose the exact destination we're going to yet, but if you have some basic geographical knowledge of the US, or if you have access to Google Maps, if you're tracking our progress, we went from Texas to Louisiana, Louisiana to Mississippi, and I think I mentioned either at the beginning of this video or in a previous video that we are heading to Georgia, where we're going to be staying one day. We're just staying the night there and then we're leaving. But I think that if you just kind of follow that path, it becomes pretty clear where we're heading. But this journey is testing us. I mean, it is testing us in ways that I did not expect to happen. But I guess these are the stories that you end up telling. When things go according to plan and everything goes well, you don't really tell those stories because there are no stories to tell. In fact, you don't even really remember those times. You remember the times when things don't go according to plan and you figure it out anyways. And that's important because if you don't memorize those times, if you don't remember the times when things went south, you don't learn from them and not make those mistakes again. At this point, I'm kind of just yapping. I'm really just venting right now. This is kind of a therapy session because I'm not gonna lie, I am not too happy with myself at the moment because, man, this affects both of us, but this especially affects me because I'm the one driving. But I see this car pulling up. They have a trailer. I don't think it's them, no. It's pavement maintenance. I don't know. I do not know what's going on. I don't know why this shit has been so unnecessarily difficult. I didn't face this many difficulties when I did the car life thing by myself. I don't know what it is. I feel like the universe is just testing us or something. But let's go ahead and get her raw, authentic thoughts right now about this situation. How are you feeling? And be completely honest. How are you feeling?
A little hot.
Hot as in metaphorically speaking, or literally hot?
No, physically.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But yeah, it sucks. But honestly, what can you do? So
Yeah.
I'm not too mad. It's just more so that we could have been further already.
Yeah.
But
Shit, I'm mad.
yeah. But at the same time, you can be mad, but it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, that's so true.
So
That is so true.
I know I downloaded Heartland episodes, so
You gonna watch that?
I might.
Yeah, I don't blame you. This is one of those moments where I think to myself, we could just be hanging out in that bedroom right now in the air conditioning. We could have just avoided this whole thing.
I just like wonder why all this is happening.
Yeah.
It seems like
every day
it's like not a coincidence anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm really just I've been pondering like what's the reason for this?
Yeah.
It's like, what is it telling us? Is it like, oh, we need to go back, or is it testing us and be like, no, you need to push forward?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been like, there's a moments where I was like, okay, let's just not
Go
do
back.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I've had those same exact thoughts too, especially when I felt that cooler hit the back of my seat and I turned around and saw that water spilling out.
Yeah.
But
That
I
was
feel
the
like,
worst.
yeah, the further we go, the more sense it makes to just keep going.
Yeah.
Because even if we went back right now,
Yeah.
we're so far away that, I mean, you could call it sunken cost fallacy or whatever, but
I mean, we're not going back.
yeah,
but
we're for sure not going back.
I'm just wondering what the reason is for all of this.
Yeah.
Because every day something happens.
Every
And today I
single
was
day.
like, okay, we're doing pretty good. Like, I'm getting just on the road and eating.
Yep.
It's a pretty good day. And then we're about to have the car.
Yeah. Things are going so smooth.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we're kind of ahead of schedule. It's only a, what, 6.5, 7 hour drive from New Orleans to Atlanta. So we were making good progress. We were on track to make it at around 11:30, and that's including the time zone change because Atlanta's an hour ahead. Now we're on pace to make it there at around 2 a.m. Which,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it's doable, but we might have to stop somewhere along the way. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe not, I'm not sure.
That's the thing with the timing of when we left and we're sitting, you know, is if we get there around 2 a.m. then we'll probably get only a few hours of sleep because it will be hot
Yeah.
already. So that's more so the thing.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we have another 7 to 10 hours of driving, depending on how far we end up driving. So I don't know what's going on. This
Yeah.
van life journey is testing us in ways that I just never anticipated.
It's rough.
Very, very rough. There is nothing glamorous. Listen, I've been trying to tell you this for the past few videos. People will make van life or car life seem like this super magnificent, glamorous thing. Maybe they're doing it better than we are. Maybe they just know something that we don't or whatever.
Yeah.
But in my experience, not just with this trip, but living in my car before, even though nothing to this extent happened during that time, there is nothing glamorous about this lifestyle. It's a very rugged and difficult lifestyle. And you have to really learn to enjoy. That's a bee. I don't know where that just went. So I'm gonna just go ahead and walk away. You can watch your Netflix episodes. But you just have to really learn to
Look at me.
you have to really learn to enjoy the adversity. It's just like with entrepreneurship, honestly. There's always a fire to put out, and if there's not, then you should be preparing for when the next fire happens. And I don't want this to turn into a life advice thing or whatever, but at the same time, what else can you do? What else can you do while you're waiting for AAA roadside assistance to come and assist you, hopefully? Because the first lady told me that the policy holder has to be present with their ID, and I don't think my parents are going to be driving from Dallas to Mississippi to come show their ID. So hoping that that works. If not, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna crash out. All right, so I just got a call from the person who's going to help us mitigate the situation. And this person, while he said he is willing to do it, which is great, just informed me that he is coming from New Orleans. Now, if you're not familiar with this area, which you're probably not, right? I'm in, I don't even know the city name once again, but it's between Biloxi and Mobile, Alabama. And New Orleans to where we currently are is probably about a 2-hour drive, give or take. So it's 7:23 p.m. right now. He said that the best he can do is around 9 p.m. So we're gonna be here for a while. Okay, we are going to be here for a while. At the very least, I wish I had access to my laptop, because then I could at least edit videos or something. But there's literally nothing else I can do right now other than just sit here and ruminate on the stupidity of this mistake. And I feel like this is one of those mistakes that most people make once in their lives, but never again. and I guess this was that one time that this would happen. But basically, this is kind of the situation right now. I don't know if you can see this, but right now, if we were to leave at this moment in time, we would get to Alpharetta, Georgia, which is where we're going, at 1:52 a.m. because we still have around 5.5 hours left. It's 392 miles away. But you can add another, once again, 1.5 to 2 hours to that. So realistically, we're looking at 3:30 to 4 a.m. as our arrival time. And to my girlfriend's point, that means that we're probably not going to get much sleep because once the sun comes up, it gets hot. So it looks like we're gonna have another day of sleep deprivation. You hate to see it, but at the very least, he said he's willing to do it, and that's the silver lining. And on top of that, it's free. So hey, could be a lot worse than it is, but I am never, ever, ever, ever going to make this mistake for the rest of my time on this earth. So as you can see, we made it into the van. The man pulled up. I have never in my life been that happy to see another human being other than when I reunited with my girlfriend in the Netherlands. But honestly, it's close. It is very, very close because that man just came in so clutch. He drove all the way from New Orleans to almost Alabama to come unlock this car. He got it unlocked in literally 2 minutes at most. But because we lost so much time, the plan now is to stop at an Anytime Fitness somewhere near Auburn, Alabama. And then from there, we're gonna try to make it to Charlottesville, Virginia tomorrow. But how are you feeling?
So happy that we can finally start moving again.
Echo. All right, so just as quickly as we mitigated that situation and got back out on the road, we made it all of maybe 2 miles before we had to pull over again because the engine overheated yet again. If you haven't been watching the recent vlogs, basically we've had issues with the engine overheating. We think we might need coolant, but we just haven't gotten around to checking it because we've been so busy with driving, filming, editing, etc. So now that's coming back to bite us, and we don't want to keep driving and the engine keeps overheating because we don't want to ruin the engine. What we have been doing up to this point is just running the heater, and that pretty much always worked, but this time it didn't. So we just had to pull over at this gas station, and now I need to figure out how to go about adding coolant. I don't even know if they'll have the right coolant at this place. If they don't, I mean, what else can I really do? It's not like there are any mechanics that are open at this point in time, and obviously we need the car to be able to sleep in. I don't even know how to open the hood of this van, so I don't know how long this is gonna take, but things are not looking too good right now. They are not looking too good, but stay tuned to see what happens next. I'm gonna just start fixing people's coolant system for them.
You should. Maybe this is your calling.
It's not. If this is my calling, I'm hanging up. And I'm changing my number because I want to make sure that I never have to do this ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that that's good. ChatGPT said to fill it up to the neck. That's about to the neck, right? You think so?
I think.
Or is this the neck up here?
Yeah, what even is the neck?
Let's add a little more.
Well, I guess anything that we already put in there is better than like what was in there before.
Yeah. Listen, I just want to say this real quick. Without ChatGPT and YouTube, I don't know where we would be right now, because ChatGPT literally just saved our lives. We were supposed to be in Atlanta by now.
Yeah.
We've literally
Oh
only
God.
crossed one state.
We've only driven for like 1.5 hours
If that. But
in this whole day.
I guess we should go ahead and turn the engine on and just see what happens from there. If this car explodes, then I guess this footage doesn't go up.
Oh.
But At least I know I went out trying. Speaking of YouTube and ChatGPT, let me save you a whole bunch of time doing research. If you have a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan, let me put you on some game real quick. So basically, if your engine keeps overheating, I'm saying this like I know that I just fixed it. I actually don't know if this actually worked, but I do know that I at least added coolant. So if you don't know how to do that, basically all you need to do is you need to get some coolant, and if it's coolant concentrate, which it'll say on the bottle, coolant concentrate, it'll say must add water. You get you some water as well. Get a bucket. My girlfriend had the genius idea to use this pee bottle. I haven't actually used it yet, so didn't have any pee mixed in there or anything like that. So literally she just saved the day. She has so many good ideas, so many amazing ideas, so shout out to her. But basically I used the food scale, so shout out to the food scale, to ensure that I got a 50-50 distribution of these two, because you need a 50-50 distribution. You put it in there, you get a funnel, and if we didn't have a funnel from the store, my plan was actually to use this water bottle as a funnel. So just cut out the bottom half as a funnel, but they gave away free funnels in the store, so shout out to them. So basically you put the funnel in there and you keep pouring the coolant and water mixture in until it fills up to the neck, which I think is around this area right here. Now the key is we had to wait probably an hour to let the engine cool down, because if you don't do that, basically the radiator cap, when you remove it, the whatever it's called, I don't know what any of this stuff is, okay? I don't know shit about engines, but basically it'll spray hot oil on you and it'll burn you, which I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound pleasant to me. So a great way to test if the thing, whatever it's called, is cooled down is you can actually press on this tube. And again, this is only if you have a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan. If you have something else, a Mercedes Sprinter van or whatever, you take that shit to a mechanic, because I don't know how to work on that. But you basically squeeze this, and if it has a lot of give to it, that means that there's not a lot of pressure, which means it won't just explode on you. So you can do that. You can also feel if it's actually hot, but get some gloves and or a towel just to be safe. But once you do that, you open it up and you literally just do what you saw me doing just now. So just pour it in. And look, if you have a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan and you're in this situation, you're stuck in, where are we? Moss Point, Mississippi, I think. You're stuck in Moss Point, Mississippi after just locking your key inside of your car, then I just saved you a shit ton of time. So much time, so much effort, so much energy. But now we need to see if it actually worked.